So I've started the recording, and now you can ask any question if you have regarding the lectures that had been sent. Are we able to work with the maths? I have seen not many of you have actually seen the videos. So, but whoever has actually seen the videos, they can give me some feedback of how you are finding the mathematics, uh, whether it is easy or difficult, or it requires some bit of your attention. So any sort of feedback would be good for me also in order to deliver it better. And those who are not have not seen the lectures yet are perhaps waiting for the tutorial. Uh, so it is actually, it would have been beneficial if you had looked into it as early as possible, as if you had any questions you could have uh, cleared your doubts. Those who have looked into the lecture videos, I just want to ask from them, so how they are finding the presentation of the mathematics. Are you able to understand? So I have not received any doubts or anything in chat also. So I hope that it is quite clear what we are doing in the with the mathematics, the vectors and the matrices. Okay, so someone has a question here. Length of the videos are increasing day by day. Okay, so actually it gives me some sort of liberty, because I am pre-recording the videos and not taking it in the class. So it gives me a bit of a liberty to explain you slowly, or like give you some more example, or repeat a certain concept more than a few times than what I may have done when, if I had to deliver it during a limited time. So that is the reason. So you have to bear with me in that. But it also, like, it is staying there in the YouTube or in the stream, so you can stop the video and again go back to it if you are not having that particular amount of time to spend there at that moment. We get too many assignments. Yes, you have to deal with the assignments, because unless you do the assignments in this course, uh, actually you will not be able to get the content of this course. It is a very, like, you have to do the tutorials and class notes. Otherwise I am not, I will not be confident that I am able to deliver the content to you guys. So once you do those things, then at certain level of confidence I will be that at least you will have some takeaway from this course. Why are too many assignments? You are supposing every week there would be one assignment. It is quite conventional to have it like that, because in a week we are covering a certain topic and there will be an assignment for, there will be a tutorial for that. And the class notes is something I have put additional this year, because you are all at your home, and Otherwise, I feel that you will not be looking into the lecture videos and trying to understand the contents of it. Making a class note helps in order to also it helps you to also build confidence in the subject, that you have understood it and you are able to put down the contents in some form in the class notes. Making class notes is a good habit actually. Sometimes we actually used to do it while we were in our school, but uh, many times it happens that we lose the habit when we come to college. So but doing the class notes is helpful in order to really understand the subject. So it to if you want to really gain knowledge on something, there are actually few steps in doing so. So first you have to study the subject, then you have to make class notes, and there is also a third level, which is to make a presentation on the subject. So once you are able to present the subject, like I am able to do it now to you, so that is another level of uh, having the knowledge deep within oneself. So only then one develops the confidence of presenting the subject to someone else or teaching that subject to someone else. So presenting and teaching is also a bit different. Teaching comes after presentation. So you have to presenting is like presenting the information, not so much deep into it, not the deep intricacies or insights on the subject you have to give. Only it's like you have made the notes, you can now make a presentation slide, and that is that, then what happens, you are able to make the make the presentation more and more concise. So if you are able to present in a more and more concise way, that means you have been able to understand the subject, you know the actual main points of the subject. That's why you are able to do that. So I am presenting a lot of information in lecture videos. Obviously in the class notes what you are writing down will not be a verbatim record of what I am saying. It will only be the major main topics and the main points and the main derivations, like that, one or two examples like that. That forms the class notes. But then if you are to present it in presentation slides, you will not give so much of like all those things that you have written down on class notes. Your presentation will be more concise. But this is about when you are able to make more and more concise a subject, it actually gives you a deeper impression about the subject, and you also develop confidence on it. Now you will be at a stage where you will be able to teach the subject also. So that means you have actually become knowledgeable about it. Okay, the concepts you will be able to readily speak out even without any reference. That level will come only when you have gone through these levels. So that is why I ask you to at least go to the level of making class notes, so that some practice and some impression gets there within yourself on about the subject. Doing tutorials is not the whole business actually. Tutorials is just solving numerical problems, and if you somehow know some formulas and all, you can readily apply them. It doesn't give you an understanding of the subject as such. Keshav has some query. Keshav?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, in the video you said that we try to project we try to project when in case of different dimensions of the transformation matrix, n cross n dimensions. So you said that we try to, it is like we are trying to project it on a hyperplane, or in case of three dimensions on a 3D plane, or on a 2D plane, so you said that the shadow may be perpendicular, may not be perpendicular, but how can we say that? I mean, if
Uh,
we
yeah, okay. I understood your question. So hopefully you understand, those who have gone into the lecture videos, they have this understanding right now that when we are operating a space with a matrix, operating a space means the vectors in that space, all vectors we can operate with the same matrix. What we will get is another space of vectors. So operating a vector x from a space capital X, that space can have some dimension n, suppose it is a nth order nth dimensional space. So your small x will have n entries in its column. So you consider the vector as a column vector, then it will have n number of entries in the column, and in general they will be non-zero entries. So that makes your n dimensional space. Now you pick up any vector x from this space and operate it with a matrix capital A. Keshav, you can mute yourself. Operate it with a matrix A. Then what you will get? You will get another vector y. So that makes your equation Ax equals to y. But this vector y will lie on a space whose dimension is determined by the order of A. So suppose A is m cross n, then m cross n operating on a n cross 1 vector gives you m cross 1 vector. So the dimension of y becomes m. So it is a m dimensional, it is a vector from an m dimensional space, and not necessarily the n and m will be equal. They can be unequal. So what happens in general is that the vector x from the n dimensional space comes to, suppose m is less than n, comes to a lower dimensional space. So like I had given in the example, perhaps I had said that a vector from the 3 dimension. Now if my A matrix is such that it is leading me to a 2-dimensional space, then I am confining my y vectors to a 2-dimensional plane. It cannot come out, the y vectors cannot come out of that 2-dimensional plane. So this is what I meant by coining the term projection. So it is like projecting a higher dimensional space on a lower dimensional space, but not necessarily the projections will be perpendicular to the original vector. That means we have an idea that when we have, there is an inclined rod, suppose, and we see the shadow is perpendicular to the plane, to the horizontal plane. So like suppose you have you cast a shadow of a rod on the ground. So normally our idea of projection is that the shadow will be perpendicular. The shadow that is there, it will form a perpendicular triangle. But it is not always so. It depends on actually the light falling. So the direction of light that is falling. So once the direction of light is perpendicular to the ground, then the shadow will be perpendicular. In other cases, the shadow will not be perpendicular. So this is also like that this matrix A is like the light falling on the vector x, and it is giving another vector y, which is a shadow. So which you can consider as a shadow. So not necessarily that this x and y will be like there. If you drop a perpendicular from x, you will get the y. It may not always be like that. So that is what I am saying. You have to always keep the general idea in mind, that what is A into x. You are going into another space. And not necessarily that dimension of that space will be same as the original space. Now sometimes the dimension of this space, that is the dimension of y, will also be same as x, but that also does not it is the same space, but what happens, the space gets some, the space changes in a certain way. It gets some stretching and like stress and strain applied to that space. So in that order, in that mode, the space gets changed, and this stretching etc is due to the matrix A operating on it. Every vector will get stretched as well as distorted from its position. Every vector is if every vector suffers this sort of a stretching or contraction and distortion, that means the entire space suffers that contraction and contraction or scaling. You can say scaling is the general term. The scaling and distortion is suffered by the entire space. But since the space is actually like infinitely sized, you may suppose that we may feel that no change is happening, but a change is happening actually. A change is actually happening, and that is also something you can actually think about the space that we live in. And like Einstein had told us, right, that when we have massive objects placed in a space, the space itself contracts, and that is how gravitation is actually produced. So he has given a reason why we feel the force of gravitation. It is due to the stretching and contraction and this distortion of the space, which happens due to a massive body placed in the space. It is almost similar to a matrix operation happening in a local region of the space. So you have to start seeing the maths in everyday existence. Otherwise, the maths will only remain something in a very abstract dimension. You have to get a feel of the maths, and linear algebra is very readily felt because we are seeing spaces around us, and it is talking all about spaces and its distortion, contraction, all these things. I guess I have some chat or something. No. Anything else? Try to relate the maths to your everyday experience. Only then the maths will find a meaning, and you will really start liking the maths. Is the idea of basis clear? Basis and independent vectors. Those who are not seeing the videos in time, they might face difficulties. I am giving a warning. They might face difficulties. So I'm again telling you again and again that at least the maths videos you see quickly. Someone is saying something.
For linear algebra, you linked a YouTube channel by Dr. Bob Ross, I think. So in that, there was this video about finding the basis for a given set of vectors, and they are
I have not
using
seen that video actually. Yeah, tell me.
So they are using the echelon form, row echelon form for finding the basis. So I do not understand why that is working.
Okay, so I also have to look into that video. I have not seen the video. So there are several ways of finding solutions in a particular mathematical problem. This I hope by now you guys, all of you, have understood while going through mathematics, that a particular problem will have different approaches to finding out the same solution. So in linear algebra also, this row echelon is a very useful concept and many people use it. But how I had been trained is to use the column operations. So I am also training you with the column operations. So I am more comfortable with column operations. So during the earlier days when we are taught matrices, etc., there were row echelon forms involved, and we used to do row echelon to figure out many things. I have also forgotten what all the things that it was able to solve. But now when we are dealing with some advanced topics like finding bases, finding independence, even the earlier concepts like solution of a set of um, a set of equations, all those things can also be done with the column operation. So it is a versatile numerical technique, and it is able to find out, it is able to solve anything in the linear algebra domain. So whatever you want to find out, the column operation will reveal it in some way or the other. So I have to actually see the row echelon form, otherwise I will not be able to
Yes, sir.
answer your
I mean,
question.
sir, the procedure is clear, but I did not understand how the row echelon form proves that the given vectors are fit enough to form the basis.
I hope I will answer you in this way. So if you are interested, you can stick with it, and if you look at it again and again, you will find the answer. But for the purpose of the entire class, since I have given the column operation technique, if there is any doubt in the column operation technique and why it is working and why it is able to find out the basis vectors, I'll be happy to answer that question, because you will in the internet you will find a lot of different techniques, and it will become quite a lot for me also to look into all those different techniques and figure out why those techniques are actually um, solving the problem. I may not know for all the techniques, but I know for certainty how the column operation works. So I'll be able to always answer your doubts regarding column operations. So I hope, Jayati, you are able to understand why the column operation is working.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If
Thank
there
you.
is a doubt there, then that can be taken up with. Yeah, from the rank we can say whether the set of vectors is linearly independent or not, but does it also give us the dependency relationship that we can find out using the column operations? I don't know. I have been out of touch with column with row echelon form for a long time actually. So when we were trained in our class, we are trained with column operations. The professor also told us that to forget row echelon form completely. So because we are trained in a new technique, so the old technique had to leave from our system in order to understand the new technique. Yeah, this guy is also very good in Math Dr. Bob. So he is also very good. Jayati has shared a link. Probably
No,
you
sir.
can.
You have shared the link in shared this channel in the linear algebra tab. That is why I was watching it.
Oh, okay, okay. I not share another one about eigenspaces and all? A video about eigenspace and eigenvectors where they were where they were like giving an animation of how the space is getting stretched and distorted.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You did.
There you will get a very visual understanding of what is happening in the linear algebra domain. Yeah, this particular video I will have to check why it is happening. I will say that not all the techniques like the techniques work obviously, but not all the things that are covered by this math Dr. Bob were readily understood by me also, but at least the techniques work, so that is why I shared them. So I'm not referring to these materials. uh, I am referring to the column operation, which none of these people are actually working with. They are not working with column operations. However, what they are trying to understand, trying to make you understand, if you are able to get it, you will get the idea of linear algebra. The idea of linear algebra can be brought out very well. They are able to bring that idea out in some sense. So only stick with the numerical technique. For the numerical technique, stick with the technique that I am using in class, that is column operations. Don't go with any other technique. Okay. But for understanding concepts, you can look at these videos. So these videos are for understanding the concepts or making the concept more clear. Because I am not able to produce animations, or perhaps I am not able to readily produce the examples. So Math Dr. Bob has a lot of examples, and even I will work with some of the examples from his tutorials going ahead. Okay, so any other thing? Any other thing? There was a doubt regarding one question. I think there was this signal flow chart where the H1, H2, those things were not mentioned, what to take. So in case you find that in a question you have to assume something, then you assume it and state that assumption and then solve the question. Normally when such a scenario occurs, we assume the most easy thing to assume, which is perhaps like unity or 0 or something like that. 0 would not be valid here because the branch is actually present. So you should assume the maybe 1 by s or 1, whatever suits best for you. You state that assumption and go ahead solving the question. That is fine. Is there some Okay, fine then. I hope there are no further questions on the math topics. So this week you will be given some more videos on maths, and this will require the understanding you have developed over these 3 videos. And here you will actually see how the maths is working for the control system, the modern control system paradigm that we are working with, which is the state space realization. How the idea of spaces, vectors and operation on vector, what it is telling us in terms of control engineers working in state space realizations. So that will be interesting. So these 3 videos which will be coming up in this week, they will be quite interesting. And the next week will also be mathematical. So I am preparing these lectures right now. Actually I am preparing these lectures. They will also be quite mathematical, and after that slowly the maths part will gradually subside, but that understanding that will develop over these 3 or 4 weeks, I hope that it stays with you all the time in future, and so you are able to look at things not in just this subject but in other subjects also. You will encounter matrices all the time in your life. If you are going ahead in education, of course you will encounter matrices every time. If you are going into certain industries, you will again face matrices. Certain industries you might not face matrices, but in certain industries you will encounter matrices all the time, and it is always beneficial to have a picture in your mind of what actually matrices are doing. Then you are able to see the problem. You are able to, if there is actually a problem happening somewhere, you will be able to visualize what is actually happening, where the thing is going wrong. That's why I'm trying to stress on this particular mathematical understanding of linear algebra. There are actually many more things in linear algebra, but all those we don't need to go into. At least these things we need to learn, and they are the things which will always be useful. Okay, so I guess we can end the lecture here. And before ending the lecture, I just want to remind you that I'll be sharing a poll about the breathing rates, that the thing that we are trying to see in ourselves, how well we perform and all. So I will be adding the poll, and you are requested to actively participate in it. You will know about your own breathing rate, as well as how the other people in your group, in your batch, is also their breathing rate, and where you actually stand. And I advise you to, like, when you are trying to count your breathing rate, have an empty stomach for at least 2 hours before doing this, and then you find a comfortable position to sit in a comfortable position. If you are able to sit cross-legged, that is the best position to sit. Otherwise you can sit in a chair also. Be relaxed, don't think about anything, just allow yourself to breathe of several times in a relaxed manner. Then start counting. Count 10 breaths and see what is the time you take to complete the 10 breaths. You can do it twice or thrice and see the average time. So that you can take as the average time you require to complete 10 breath cycle. We want to state that, do we want to state that person died at 110 and half the average breathing rate? No, it is not like it is not a linear relationship like this. Okay, it is not a linear relationship, but you count it, and then further on we will have discussion on what is the effect of breathing rate on our lives as such. Okay, so I will see how deep we can go in this discussion. Okay, actually we can go a lot deep, and people are actually giving a lot of laugh reactions now. Okay, so so I will share the poll. And one more thing I wanted to discuss. So Vipul is the your CR, right? So you can Vipul, you can discuss with your batch. Like, we have decided now that the quiz will close on the Wednesday, so the submission will happen without late penalty. Submission is till Sunday, and the following Wednesday I will close the quiz so that you can be given the answers, and if there is any doubt, etc., that can be clarified. Now we also need to close the tutorial assignments and the class note assignments. When would be a good time to close it? So will it be this Wednesday, or you want some more days to allow for late submissions for these tutorials and assignments? So after this closing date, your assignments, etc., will be returned to you, and you will be able to understand where exactly you have gone wrong. You will be provided the solutions, you can check for yourself. So yeah, if someone wants to say something. There's some noise coming in. Vipul, are you able to hear? Were you able to listen to me, or are you not even present here? I don't know. Oh, I can't see Vipul actually. So Shivam, can you take up this task, or at least inform Vipul maybe? Shivam Divedi?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sure,
so
sir.
yeah, let me know that assignment closing time, closing date. So when would you like to close the assignments? So after that, no one will be able to submit the assignment anymore. So even with late penalty, no one will be able to submit. So you have to take a good decision around this by talking to everyone in the class. But I can see that most of you have already submitted the assignment. A few are remaining. Around I think 20 or 30 people are remaining to give the assignment, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I am talking about the other class or not, because I am dealing with two classes actually, so it might be the other class also. But you just inform Vipul about it, so you can take a decision, and accordingly we will conduct the uh, closing of the assignment. Okay, so with that I will end the session. And
Sir,
yeah.
sir, in question 9, in tutorial 2, question
Hmm.
9,
Hmm.
one graph is, one signal flow graph is there, and we have to
Hmm.
derive the transfer function from it and then write the state space equation. So
Hmm.
the value of HIs are not given.
Now that is what I just told you about. So if you find something like that, you assume the values.
Sir, and one more problem is there.
Hmm.
In case, in most of the cases, HI is always negative, means -1. So we have to take -1 or 1 there. Just one confusion
So
was
what
there.
is the general convention? You go with the general convention.
Sir,
Okay, I
-1 and
mostly it is a negative
-1.
feedback, so you take a -1 there.
Okay, sir. That
Okay.
was all.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, and one more doubt.
Hmm.
In some, I yesterday I asked you about the convention also, X3, X2, S1, and X1, X2,
Hmm.
S3.
Hmm.
Sir, in one question, according to my convention, the matrix is just inverted.
Hmm.
Means not inverted, it's
Not
rotated.
inverted.
Means
Yeah. Hmm.
it's rotated somewhat. If the first row and
It's
the
like a
last
transpose.
row.
It's like
So,
almost like a
so
transpose,
that
not
so
exactly transpose also.
yeah, to make it valid or verify it, can I draw the block diagram at the side? Because there is only one question which is just differing from your convention and my convention. So can I draw the block diagram for
Yeah,
better
you explain it
understanding?
as well as you can.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
but it is always wise to use the convention which is carried out in the class. And the
Okay, sir.
convention that I am using, most of the places, if you just search phase variable form, etc., you will see the convention that I am using. Some
So, sir,
places
actually, I was
uh,
actually seeing the NPTEL lecture of a IIT Roorkee professor at YouTube.
okay,
So I
okay.
thought the same convention would be followed by you, or and
Yeah.
I was getting the same relation as well. So that was
You should
just.
watch the lecture that I am making and uploading. So for the purpose of this class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
There
I
are a
will
lot
see
of
the.
different conventions. So I always talk about this. I thought that you are already in the last year I already talked about conventions a lot. So here also in this course also there are a lot of conventions. So try to stick with the convention that I am
Okay,
delivering in
okay,
the
sir.
class. Okay.
From the next shoot, I will follow your
Hmm.
convention.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. But also like Ayush had looked into other convention, that is also useful for all of us in order to appreciate the fact that there are so many different ways to approach a problem. So this is
Sir,
a
one
fact
more
worth
problem is there.
appreciating actually.
Sir,
Huh,
in the quiz question, there was given the Toeplitz matrix as
huh.
a triangular. There was a property of a Toeplitz matrix. That was a question. It is a upper triangular matrix. The diagonal elements, mains, and others are all same. Sir, what you taught in the class was actually it was coming triangular matrix. But when I saw on the internet, the general Toeplitz matrix is as the if we rotate the matrix by 45 degree, just rotate the matrix by 45 degree, then all the row elements are same. It was a general Toeplitz matrix, and actually
Okay.
both the options was there in the test. So which one of the following would be correct, general Toeplitz matrix or what you have taught?
What I have taught, because I am also writing this actually a sort of a disclaimer I am writing in every quiz. If you see the instructions in the quiz, answer in
Okay,
the purview of the lecture video that have been delivered. Okay.
Okay.
So because I know that there can be a lot of different things out there, and even it is impossible for me to like look into all the different ways people have described or understood Toeplitz matrix, etc.
No, sir.
And
In the class lecture as well, you said that just go and see what the properties of Toeplitz matrix. So I just saw on the
okay,
Wikipedia that
okay,
a Toeplitz matrix is a matrix n cross n matrix which can be used to represent n state is equation. So one question was also there for n state is equations. The order of Toeplitz matrix would be. So I just marked n order, but actually it was n plus 1 because you take one more state as the input state.
hmm,
So actually that was also differing from our general point of view of Toeplitz
hmm,
matrix.
hmm.
And one more question was there that diagonal and main elements are all same. And actually both the options was there. So it was a bit confusing for me what to mark on the general concept or on the class
Okay,
concept. So
okay.
please, sir, look into that problem. Just declare both the options if possible, when this or this, because not as general, sorry.
Yeah, okay. So actually, this sort of thing can happen because these are all mathematical things, na? So general thing can be a bit different than what we are using actually in the course. So there can be a lot of things which are further. The generalization can go on. So it's like that. So,
Sir, only one
but
question I want to just
for
make
this
clarification.
particular thing, yeah, you may have noted something um, extra additional than what has been delivered in the course. Okay, it can happen. So I will see. I will
Okay,
look
sir.
into the Toeplitz matrix how they are
Okay,
defining
sir.
it.
Okay. Thank you.
Shivam,
Excuse me, sir.
Shivam,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, sir, I was asking that can you tell once again what were you stating related to that closing of deadline on Wednesday for the quizzes?
Yeah, so like I closed the quizzes and returned the quizzes yesterday, right? So these quizzes were supposed to be submitted by last Sunday midnight. So the
Yes, sir.
after Sunday midnight, it was still open for submission on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So 3 days were given for late submissions for these
Okay.
quizzes. So I want to understand how many days do you want to keep the allowance for late submission of tutorials and class notes? Like now no one can actually submit the quizzes. Okay, so they are closed.
Okay, sir.
So when I close the tutorial and class notes, no one will be able to further upload their tutorial and class notes. So I want to understand that when would be the closing time. So one is the submission deadline, another is the permanently closing that assignment for any further submission. So that deadline I want to have from you.
Okay, sir. I'll notify this to people.
ठीक है. Yeah, Urjita.
Yes, sir. I had a doubt in the past quiz question. The definition of state that was given in the videos, it stated that it is the minimum information at T naught which is needed together with the knowledge of input at all T greater than T naught. So there were two options, that whether we need just the information at T naught or at all points of time. So according to this definition, I'm a bit confused as it seems that we require the information at all points of time. But the answer given is at
No,
is
what is written in the definition in the video?
yeah, so it is given, it is the minimum information at T naught which is needed together with the knowledge of input at all T greater than T naught to predict the behavior of
To
all.
predict the behavior. So
Yeah.
the input is different. So apart from the input, what is needed? That is the state. That is the definition of the state. It is the minimum set of information required at initial time.
At T naught, yeah.
Okay, so that minimum set of information is the can be called the states. Okay,
Okay.
that is the thing.
Okay.
So though it is defined as the minimum set of information required at E0, but you should be aware that these information are getting updated over the time. So once you identify this minimum set of information, you also have to look into its evolution over time. So that's what we are actually trying to find out, the solution of the states. Xt we are trying to find out.
Yes.
Okay. Shivam, you have further questions, or you can lower your hand then.
Yes, sir. No doubts.
Okay. Okay, fine then. I hope there are no more doubt, and so we can end the session. I will just check if there is any request here. No. So people are giving laugh reactions to Bhaskar's comment, and I am getting a notification here and wondering whether someone has posted a query or not. So anyway, so let us end the live session then. So thank you for attending, and we'll post new lecture videos this week, as well as another set of quizzes and tutorials, etc. So again, meet you on Tuesday. Thank you.